In the heart of Mesopotamia, in the bustling city of Ur, lived a man named Abram. This city, known for its grandeur and vibrant life, was a hub of activity and culture. The streets were filled with merchants, traders, and families going about their daily lives, deeply rooted in their traditions and beliefs. Life flowed in predictable rhythms, the familiar cadence of a life lived among idols and earthly concerns. The people of Ur worshipped many gods, their lives intertwined with rituals and ceremonies that had been passed down through generations. The market scenes were bustling with energy, a testament to the thriving community. But God, in his infinite wisdom, saw a flicker of something more in Abram's heart. Amidst the noise and chaos, Abram often found himself in deep thought, contemplating the mysteries of life and the universe. He felt a restlessness, a yearning for something beyond the tangible world around him, a spark of faith waiting to be kindled, and God spoke. This divine spark was like a candle being lit in the darkness, a small flame that had the potential to grow into a blazing fire of faith and purpose. A voice out of time, echoing through the ages. It was a voice that transcended the physical world, resonating deep within Abram's soul. The wind seemed to carry this divine message, whispering through the ancient ruins and filling the air with a sense of mystery and awe. Leave your country, your people, and your father's household and go to the land I will show you. These words were not just a command, but a promise of a new beginning, a journey towards a destiny that only God could reveal. The words, a divine imperative, shattered the mundane, a call to leave behind the familiar and step into the unknown. Abram stood at a crossroads, his mind racing with the possibilities and challenges that lay ahead. The horizon seemed to beckon him, a pathway leading to a future filled with uncertainty and hope. Abram, his heart pounding with a mixture of trepidation and exhilaration, didn't hesitate. With a determined expression, he took the first step on this monumental journey, driven by an unwavering faith in the divine promise. He chose faith over fear, obedience over comfort. Each step he took was a testament to his trust in God's plan, a journey that required immense courage and conviction. Leaving behind the life he had always known, Abram embraced the unknown with a heart full of faith. He gathered his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, and all his possessions. The preparations were extensive as they packed their belongings and readied themselves for the long journey ahead. The caravan, laden with supplies and hopes, set out with a sense of purpose and anticipation, and with a heart full of hope, he set out into the vast, uncharted wilderness. The desert landscape stretched out before them, a daunting yet awe-inspiring sight. The journey through the wilderness was arduous, but each step brought them closer to the land that God had promised. This was not just a physical journey, but a spiritual pilgrimage, a testament to the unwavering faith of a man chosen by God. As they traveled, Abram often found solace in prayer, looking up at the stars and finding comfort in the divine presence that guided them. The echoes of that ancient call still resonate, a timeless reminder that sometimes we must leave everything behind to truly find ourselves. Abram's journey is a powerful testament to the transformative power of faith and the courage it takes to follow a divine calling, no matter where it may lead. The caravan snaked its way across the sun-scorched plains, a testament to Abram's unwavering faith. Days bled into weeks, weeks into months. The land of Canaan, promised by God, shimmered on the horizon, a beacon of hope in the distance. The journey was fraught with challenges. The scorching desert sun beat down relentlessly, supplies dwindled, doubts like insidious whispers threatened to extinguish the flame of Abram's conviction. Yet, he pressed on, his faith anchored in the unseen. He built altars along the way, stones piled high as testaments to his unwavering belief. Each altar, a silent prayer rising to the heavens, a reaffirmation of his covenant with God. He looked up at the star-strewn sky, a vast expanse mirroring the promise that lay before him. Canaan, a land flowing with milk and honey, awaited. It was a land where his descendants would flourish, a land where his name would be etched in the annals of history. It was a promise not just for Abram but for generations to come. Under the vast canopy of the night sky, God spoke to Abram once more. The stars twinkled like a million eyes, bearing witness to the divine conversation that was about to unfold. The air was thick with anticipation, as if the universe itself held its breath. His voice, a low rumble that shook the very foundations of the earth, promised Abram descendants as numerous as the stars that glittered above. Each star seemed to pulse with the promise of life, a future teeming with generations yet to come. The magnitude of this promise was almost incomprehensible, a vision of a future so vast it stretched beyond the horizon of human understanding. Abram, overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of the promise, fell face down in the dust. His heart pounded in his chest, a mix of awe and fear coursing through his veins. The weight of the divine words pressed down on him, grounding him in the reality of the moment. He was but a man, yet chosen for a destiny that would echo through the annals of time. A covenant was struck that night, a sacred pact between God and man. This was no ordinary agreement, it was a binding promise, sealed in the very fabric of the universe. The stars above seemed to shine brighter, as if acknowledging the gravity of the covenant being formed. It was a moment that transcended time, a divine handshake that would alter the course of history. God promised Abram not just land, but a legacy that would stretch across continents and generations, a promise that his name would be remembered long after he was gone. The land was vast, a symbol of the boundless future that lay ahead. It was a promise of prosperity, of a home for his descendants, a place where they would thrive and grow. He would be the father of nations, his descendants a blessing to all the families of the earth. This was not just a promise of a large family but of a global impact. His lineage would touch every corner of the earth, bringing blessings and prosperity to countless lives. The vision of diverse peoples, united by a common ancestry, filled Abram's heart with hope and pride. Abram, overwhelmed with gratitude and awe, listened intently, his heart thrumming with the weight of the divine promise. Each word from God resonated deeply within him, filling him with a sense of purpose and destiny. He knew that his life was forever changed, that he was now a part of something much greater than himself. The enormity of the promise filled him with a profound sense of responsibility and honor. To seal the covenant, a sacrifice was made. This was no ordinary ritual, it was a sacred act that bound the promise in blood. The altar stood as a testament to the solemnity of the occasion, a physical manifestation of the spiritual bond being formed. The act of sacrifice was a powerful symbol, a way to honor the divine and solidify the covenant. Animals carefully chosen and prepared were offered up to God in a ritual that transcended time. Each animal represented a piece of the promise, a living symbol of the covenant. The preparations were meticulous, each step carried out with reverence and precision. The ritual was a bridge between the mortal and the divine, a way to connect with the eternal. The smoke from the altar, a fragrant offering, rose to the heavens, carrying with it Abram's hopes, dreams, and unwavering faith. The scent of the offering filled the air, a tangible reminder of the promise made. As the smoke ascended, it was as if Abram's very soul was being lifted up, his faith and devotion reaching out to touch the divine. As the first rays of dawn pierced the darkness, Abram knew that his life would never be the same. The light of the new day symbolized a fresh beginning, a new chapter in his journey. The darkness of uncertainty was dispelled by the light of divine promise illuminating the path ahead. Abram felt a renewed sense of purpose, a clarity that came with the dawn. He bore the weight of the covenant on his shoulders, a responsibility both terrifying and exhilarating. The path ahead was fraught with challenges, but also filled with promise. Each step he took was a step towards fulfilling the divine promise, a journey that would test his faith and resolve. The burden was heavy, but it was also a source of strength and determination. He was from that moment forward a man set apart, chosen by God to fulfill a destiny far greater than himself. The weight of the promise gave him a sense of purpose, a mission that transcended his own life. He was no longer just Abram, he was a man of destiny, a beacon of hope for future generations. The promise sealed in blood was now a part of his very being, a guiding light that would lead him through the trials and triumphs to come. Section 4. Hagar and Ishmael. Seeds of conflict. Years turned into decades, and still, Sarah remained childless. The weight of unfulfilled promises grew heavier with each passing year, and the silence of her empty womb echoed louder in the quiet moments of her life. Doubt gnawed at her heart, casting a long shadow over the divine promise. She often found herself questioning the words spoken to her by the divine messenger, wondering if perhaps she had misunderstood, or if the promise was never meant for her. In her desperation, she offered her Egyptian maidservant Hagar to Abram as a wife, a customary practice in those days. This decision, born out of a mix of hope and despair, was a reflection of the societal norms and the lengths to which Sarah was willing to go to see the promise fulfilled. Hagar conceived and bore Abram a son, Ishmael. The birth of Ishmael, brought a temporary sense of relief and joy to the household, as it seemed that Abram's lineage would continue through this child. The birth of Ishmael, while a joyous occasion, sowed the seeds of conflict. The dynamics within the household began to shift, and the once clear lines of authority and affection became blurred. Sarah, seeing Hagar's growing influence and her son's claim to Abram's legacy, grew bitter and resentful. The sight of Hagar's burgeoning belly and the sound of Ishmael's laughter were constant reminders of her own barrenness. The once harmonious household was now rife with tension, the laughter and joy replaced by suspicion and jealousy. The relationships that once brought comfort and support now became sources of pain and conflict. Abram, torn between his love for his son and his wife, found himself caught in a web of his own making. He struggled to balance the competing demands of his heart and the expectations placed upon him by his faith and his family. He loved Ishmael, his firstborn, but he also yearned for the fulfillment of God's promise, a promise that seemed to hinge on a child born to Sarah. This internal conflict weighed heavily on him as he tried to navigate the delicate balance between his love for his family and his devotion to his faith. The story of Hagar and Ishmael serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities of human relationships and the unintended consequences of our actions. It is a tale of hope and despair, love and jealousy, faith and doubt, all intertwined in a narrative that has echoed through the ages. It highlights the dangers of doubt and the devastating impact of jealousy and resentment. The story urges us to reflect on our own lives, to consider the ways in which our actions, driven by fear or desperation, can ripple outwards, affecting not just ourselves, but those around us. As we delve deeper into the narrative, we see that the seeds of conflict planted in this ancient story continue to bear fruit in the present day. The lessons learned from Sarah, Hagar, and Abram's experiences are timeless, offering insights into the human condition and the enduring struggle to reconcile our desires with our faith. In the end, the story of Hagar and Ishmael is not just a tale of ancient times, but a mirror reflecting the ongoing challenges we face in our own lives. It calls us to examine our hearts, to seek understanding and compassion, and to strive for harmony in our relationships, despite the inevitable conflicts that arise. Section 5. A Laughter Unheard, Sarah's Doubt. One sweltering afternoon, as Abram sat beneath the shade of the terebinth trees, three strangers approached. Weary from their travels, they accepted Abram's hospitality, unaware that they were entertaining angels unaware. As they ate, one of the angels reiterated God's promise: Sarah would bear a son. Overhearing the conversation from inside her tent, Sarah laughed bitterly. Years of barrenness had taken their toll, leaving her cynical and full of doubt. "After I am worn out and my Lord is old, shall I have pleasure?" she scoffed, her words laced with disbelief and a lifetime of unfulfilled longing. But God heard her laughter, heard the pain and doubt that fueled it. He gently rebuked her, reminding her that nothing was impossible with him. The promise, though long delayed, would be fulfilled. Sarah, her heart a mixture of hope and lingering disbelief, could only wait and see. This encounter underscores the unwavering nature of God's promises, even in the face of human doubt and skepticism. It is a testament to his faithfulness and his ability to bring about the impossible, even when all hope seems lost and dreams seem unattainable.